The only issue I have with it right now is that I can see that like some viewers are going into the Twitch stream and must just be like, this guy does not know how to stream. This is the worst stream I've ever seen in my life. And that bugs me a little bit. Long live DMs. Yes. I made that TikTok / YouTube short about this new monster manual. Where is she? Oh guys, check out the three of them together. I was unsure about this color like palette when the books were first released, because like the kind of brown and green of the Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide, I was like, it's kind of earthy, but isn't it a bit bland? But then you throw this blue in there, and I don't know it. I think I really like it now. I think they actually did a really good job of these limited edition books. To the point where I'm like, I should like set up my my YouTube background to be these colors. There's something really quite royal about it. Big fan. In fact, the monster manual in general, I was like, it's kind of hard to read what's going on in the pictures. It's a lot of blue. It's like a blue mind flare with purple eyes on a dark background on a blue book. But it actually stands out really nicely. Like the light hits it in a really nice way. Like, and this is like coming from, I mean, I'm usually, generous when it comes to books, and because the illustrations are often really good, but I don't like the new book, like the normal Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster Manual. Like, I don't really like them that much as far as the look and feel of them goes. Like, the art's really good on them, but they just look so textbook-y. And I know that's like a D&D thing. Often the books look like they belong in like a school library, but I wish they would move away from that, and that's why I really like these ones. Got to use that BG3 branding. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I want to make fun of Wizards of the Coast for, just because it's fun, and it does well online, even if I'm being completely transparent. But and they do enough to be made fun of. But when it's just like a good business decision, like Baldur's Gate 3 was such a massive success, and people know that right now more than they know anything else about D&D. So let's use Baldur's Gate 3 in marketing and stuff. It's like, yeah, of course, that's a no-brainer. I just don't know what they're going to do now, as Baldur's Gate 3's popularity is going to be like, it's going to start waning as time goes on. What's makes terrible books just as a physical product? Their books could be so much better, especially at that price point. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I own a fair few books, right? Even here, just up here, I've got some Kobold Press books. I've got Tales from the Loop up here. I've got these Game Master books. I know you guys can barely see them. And I've got a bunch more downstairs. I've got like the Avatar core rulebook that I was looking through recently. I don't think I know exactly what a really good quality book feels like. You know? I'd love an example of like a really well-made book. One thing that surprised me about these books is that they're like $50. You know? $50 US. That leaps up in Canadian, which is where I am, but I feel like they could sell them for more. I don't think Wizards of the Coast gets enough credit for that. I think they could sell these for $60. I remember there was like a hoo-ha about prices going up to like $70 for a new adventure and stuff. It's like $50 for one of these. Pretty good. Okay, this is where issues come from, because I've got people up on both Twitch and YouTube. And just a quick question, because I see some people chatting in Twitch. Hello from Texas. Hello. Love your videos, trying to watch all of them on YouTube. Hope your one-year experiment works out. Me too. I'll talk about that in a minute. But guys on Twitch, can you hear me okay currently? Do I sound okay? Am I dropping frames? Is my stream unstable? As my mic just tell me sounds good. Okay. This is why you only stream on one platform at a time. Yep. I sound fine. Good to know. Good to know. I agree. Streaming one platform at a time would be the best. But at the same time, just now, I'm really surprised at the amount of people who have come through on YouTube. So thank you. Also, make sure you like the video if you're over on YouTube. That is huge for me. But yeah, all right. So today, I kind of did want to take a look at the Monster Manual and just give my first impressions. And also, I want to create my next session's encounters using the new Monster Manual, because I've got a session on Friday and I have some ideas for some kind of monsters to use, but using this to actually build it, I think will be a really fun experiment. And then I can get back after Friday's session to let you know like how the actual session went. I don't think this is as big a deal as this, for example. I don't think it's as big a deal as the Dungeon Master's Guide or the Player's Handbook. This book feels the most like, oh, we've redone the Player's Handbook because we have new rules and we want to like upgrade the way people play. And then the DMG felt like it came out because it was like, we need to do a new Dungeon Master's Guide. The old Dungeon Master's Guide is not good. You know, like in the marketing when they were pushing this one, when Wizards of the Coast was saying that the original Dungeon Master's Guide was bad, you know it was bad if they're willing to admit that. And then they were like, well, I guess we do the Monsters Manual as well. And they have done. And it was, I'm not saying it was completely unnecessary, I think it was because they are powered up players. So now they're powering up the monsters a little bit. But it's certainly the least necessary, I think. Pepsi Cola, good day, sending good vibes to everyone. Good day, how's it going? Hope the monsters fix the balance with the character changes, that the XP is more accurate this time. Yeah. Do you play with XP, Art Lover? I've never met anyone who plays with XP, and I'm very interested in how that kind of goes. Like, do you have your players like actively going and like starting fights with people just to get XP? Does the Monster Manual come with like a free PDF download? It does not. It does not. It's the same shoddy practice where they have like a deal. If you buy it on D&D Beyond, you can get the book physically delivered to you, and you can get the D&D Beyond version of it, but it's not a PDF. And I keep forgetting how bad D&D Beyond is when it comes to that. The fact that I've bought, at this point, a scary amount of stuff on D&D Beyond, and I don't actually have any PDFs. I can't download it off the app and take it with me. You know, I can't print it out easily. And if D&D Beyond just disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, I would like lose all that. And we're talking hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of stuff. So it is pretty scary. You can say XP, but I would absolutely turn your players into murder hobo. Yeah, it would. I think so. Unless you figure out ways to like give XP bonuses for the players doing, I guess, what the player characters would do, if that makes sense. So if they're playing like a pacifist cleric, you get XP for saving lives. You know, something like that, I guess. You ran a game till they hit level 8. Oh, with XP. And then I saw the light of Milestone, never going back. I just prefer Milestone because A, it's all I've ever played. And B, I think it makes prepping arcs in my games way more easy. Like if I'm just like, okay, this arc is going to be the level 5 arc, so they're not going to level up until like session 5 or 6, depending on when I get to this big story milestone. And I don't know, it's way easier in my mind to like prep for that whole arc when I know the power level of everything and kind of what should be happening at that stage. Sup King Meatbox, they need to balance the action economy. Yeah, in what way, King Meatbox? I would love to know, because Action economy as far as like from the player's side or from the DM's side? Use XP for calculating encounters, but I use milestones to level up my players. So you don't look at the critical. You don't look at the challenge rating. Power creep is a problem with D&D. I run Shadow Dark instead of 5e in part because the hit points and damage feel more like they did in 1e. One table did quest only XP. Oh, interesting. So they complete the quest, they get XP. No matter how they complete it. Whether they kill 50 people or save 50 people, they still get the XP. I can live with that. Run a game. Had that already. You love the XP method. It makes things feel rewarding when you beat a mob of 5 to 20 targets over time and get a big payout of XP, maybe even level. Just reward non-combat things, yeah. Yeah. As the old adage goes, if buying isn't owning, then taking isn't stealing. You know, I'm against piracy. Don't pirate, guys. But do whatever you think is morally correct in these moments, I guess. The only reason I'm against piracy, by the way, because when people are like, oh, just download the books, and I'm like, if you don't like Wizards of the Coast, don't use the books, don't play the game. It like as they're publishing it, that'll be the biggest thing. Don't still download the books and still play the game. But my anti-piracy comes from the fact that I used to pirate. I mean, I'm admitting to it here, but so did everyone. Like TV shows and stuff when I was a teenager. Everyone did. I'd watch so many TV shows and movies because I couldn't afford anything back then. Or things would be hard to get. And then I got a job in the TV industry, which I worked in for like a long time at this point. I started, for 11 years, I was working in the TV industry. And I always said to myself, to make up for me like pirating so much stuff when I was younger, I said, if I work in the TV industry and I make enough money to buy this stuff, I'm going to stop pirating completely. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to be against it. But that's only because I work in the TV industry and I was pirating TV shows. So I was just taking money from myself and ruining my own industry, really. I'm so aware that like, there's the people at the top who are getting rich from doing shady stuff. But then there's hundreds, if not thousands of people below them, like working their ass off and doing their best and really caring about what they're making. And like they're the ones who suffer when we like pirate and stuff. You're a bit annoyed that the free version of D&D Beyond has put a lock behind even more stuff in the rulebooks. What have they put away? What have they locked away? Sorry about ads, guys. I should turn ads off on live stream. I don't need, I don't need 3 cents. I don't need the 3 cents from that ad. The DM side, as Savage Attacker, is now a background feat of the soldier, so the soldier gets to roll their damage at least twice. Because if they're a fighter, they get multi-attack. Yeah, as far as I can tell, in fact, here, hold on. Will this work? So, let's take a look at some of this stuff. If you look up here, it says Encounters Beta calculates difficulty using 2014 rules. For 2024 calculations, create encounters in maps. And the creating encounters in maps is an awful experience, and I'm 100% hoping they fix, like, this encounter table now, because I really like using this. Despite it's been in beta and not had many changes for years, though. It's kind of annoying. But for my last session, I used the encounters in maps and compared it to just doing it using the encounters beta. And I think I grabbed like a CR 4 dragon to go up against my party, who are all level 4. And normally that would be a good encounter, like a CR4 dragon, level 4 party. In my experience, from me playing with these people and how they play, that would match it. And the encounter summary at the top right, which my face is currently hiding up here, said that it was a hard encounter. And I was like, okay, cool, a hard encounter. And I'd noticed the session before, I'd done the same thing and used this, and they destroyed my hard encounter. They absolutely destroyed it. So I made the same encounter in the maps, where it says here that this is where you go for 2024 calculations, and it was like I needed to get a CR6 monster for it to be the same challenge as the CR4 monster used to be, which, in a really weird roundabout way, completely unscientific, tells me that the old players at level 4 would fight a CR4 dragon, and it'd be a good fight. The new players have to fight a level 6 dragon, a CR6 dragon for it to be a good fight, meaning that the new player's handbook is like almost leveled up its characters one whole level, if not two. Like, if you are playing with level 4 characters from 2014, and then someone joins with a 2024 character, and they're level 4, the power jump is going to be like a full level. I don't know. I'm saying that all wrong. I'm tripping up over my words, but like I believe that from what I've seen. I have both 2014 player characters and 2024 player characters at my table, and just playing, I can see huge differences in combat versatility, especially in the martial classes, like big differences. And there's certain people that you just would be a fool, like you would be very silly to play a rogue with the 2014 rule set rather than the 2024 rule set, because the 2024 one is just so much better when it comes to sneak attack and stuff like that. Well, not so much sneak attack, but getting the multi-weapon attack. They fundamentally get there. If they attack with a dagger, they can attack again with a dagger as part of their action, which means that they still get that bonus action. Which is, if you played a rogue, the action economy within a rogue of like using your bonus action to get advantage on your next hit, for example, or to just make sure that you get sneak attack next round or anything like that, it's just huge. It like completely turns the scales the other way. How could I run a training arc as a start to a campaign? I'm thinking of something similar to the exams of Naruto, if you are familiar with that. How could you run a training arc as a start to a campaign? It sounds like you've got it. Just copy Naruto. Just have them have some kind of authority and some kind of competition and some kind of reward at the end of it. And then you can just come up with a bunch of encounters. It's very different, but also very similar. I did, in one of my last sessions, I did a Squid Game setup. Black Pixel Cosplay, thank you for resubscribing, by the way. Sorry, I'm trying to multi-stream, so until I get all this sorted out, I'm going to miss chats, and I apologize for that, and I'm going to miss notifications as well. But yeah, thank you, Black Pixel. That means a lot. That video I put out of me quitting, I was expecting, like, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting people to be like, yeah, makes sense. YouTube not for everyone. But the amount of people who have come out and really shown love blew my mind. I wasn't expecting anyone to. I got people emailed me. People emailed me being like, please don't quit. Or like, also just, it's a really mature audience of people who are like, I don't want you to quit, but like, don't starve to death. Like, do what you need to do. And I hope it didn't come across as a video that was like asking for sympathy, because it turned into that. I got a lot of sympathy and I liked a lot of it, but I wanted it just to be like, hey, if I disappear, this is why, and it's fine because I don't feel entitled to views or money or anything like that. I understand how hard this is, but like this is just what's going on. And for anyone interested in that, ironically, that video of me saying that, like, if I don't hit my goals in this next month, then I'm gonna go and try and get a full-time job. Ironically, that one video may have helped me to the extent where I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this for a little bit longer. Like, which is just so nice. I have a friend who's also a YouTuber, and we always joke about videos like that, like the goodbye videos, and then they don't leave, and we usually hate them with a passion. I've seen some people do good ones, but it's just like, you guys are just doing a goodbye video for like to get a lot of views, and then you're just taking like a couple of weeks off or something. Like, you're not actually going anywhere. And they usually drag it out, for the first 5 minutes of the video, and then they're like, goodbye, we're moving studios. And it's like, oh, sorry, you were talking like you were quitting, you're just moving studios. So the thing that me and my friend have, we've said, like, you're allowed one. You're only allowed one. In your entire career, you're only allowed to do one goodbye video. So that was my goodbye video. Can't do another one. Not allowed. Boris, hey, bonus section, watch your videos on YouTube and enjoy them. Do you DM on Start Playing or what? No, I don't DM on Start Playing. I DM a weekly session with my friends at home. And honestly, that's a lot for me, I think. Like, the amount of effort and work I put into my sessions, which isn't a lot. I don't want to do more, even though I do really enjoy DMing. I've even seen like people be like, oh, you should go and like DM professionally, like at bars and stuff that do DM nights. And I'm like, I would love to, but like, there's an anxiety there of playing with entirely new people often. It's something that I enjoy doing. I really like playing with new people when I'm in like the comfort of my own home with all my minis and all my setup and everything. But I'm quite a shy person. Even playing and Start Playing, it fills me with anxiety. But yeah. You can't use Echo Knight at all in D&D Beyond. Oh. I don't know why that is. Well, if I want to look up something, it's likely it will jump to purchase our books. Oh, don't get me started on D&D Beyond's like marketplace fiasco. That's for another video. I want to do a video where I review D&D Beyond fully. Might even be a stream where we just go through each thing and we figure out the worst part of it. The fact that if I'm on here and I want to search Fireball, and like Fireball is one word. So I forgot there. I was like, it's one word or it's two words. So if I think it's two words, which is easy with my senile brain, and I go Fireball, Fireball doesn't come up. Firebolt does. And like in any other searching software in the world at this point, it could put two and two together there and at least give me the option of Fireball. And equally, if I think Firebolt is one word, which is also a normal thing to think since Fireball's one word, Firebolt doesn't come up. It's hell. If I search Fire Space Ball on Google, it will come up with Fireball D&D Beyond. So I don't know why D&D Beyond can't give it to me. It's so annoying. And this has been broken for so long, and people have complained about it for so long, and they've not fixed it. And it's wild to me. It's wild to me. New monster manual stuff indeed, Prismatic Wizard. You think Weapon Mastery can give a big buff if people use it right? That's been the biggest thing for me. I've got with my current campaign, I've got a few martial users, and that's been the biggest jump. Knowing what all the weapon properties do, and like, I don't know, like a barbarian that just gets stuck in now as a tank is no longer just a sponge. There's like a tactical thing. They're thinking about placement. They can get cleave if they put themselves in a place where they can hit 2 people. Like it's cool. It's really good for the players, I think. Really good for the players. And that's what we want, right? We want our players to be happy. This music is a bop. Let me know if it's too loud again, by the way. Always give me constructive feedback on these streams, please, because it is so hard. I don't know how professional streamers keep up with everything. How's this for a game idea? Tomb of Horrors, but it's on Dinosaur Island and has Groundhog Day elements. Ah. I have a hot take when it comes to D&D. For my games and my DM style, I do not think dinosaurs belong in a fantasy world. Am I the minority there? Do people love dinosaurs in D&D? I know they're canon. I know it's the lore, and that there's often dinosaurs in D&D. But I don't like it. There's a block there. You know, when everyone's got their boundaries around their fantasy worlds. Same with sci-fi. Dinosaurs is just a touch too far for me. Okay, here's constructive feedback. Grow that amazing facial hair back, Boris. It's gonna come back. You know, the people with beards. Well, I don't know if they experience this. I guess because everyone's different. If I have a beard for too long, I start to forget what my face looks like, and I miss moisturizing my skin down here. And certainly as I'm getting older, I'm scared that one day I'm gonna shave and I'm just gonna be an old man, but my beard's hidden it for so long. So every couple of months it comes off, and I grow, and I always, every time I do it, I regret it. Every time I do it, I'm like, why did I do that? But it is nice. It is nice to get in the shower and like be able to just, you know, face wash my whole face. You can't do that with a beard. It would be nice if you could stick around. I enjoy your videos. What a best, thank you. I would like to stick around too. I made that video, I think in a hasty way, because there's another world where I just get a part-time job, right? If I can find myself a solid part-time job that leaves a lot of room to still make videos and I just work my ass off in both, then that's an option. But I don't know, part-time jobs are... I'd still want to work in the industry I was in, so I've got to figure out what I'm willing to sacrifice. Would I want to go and work as a server, you know, or go and work in retail? I don't know if I would. I've had some nightmare experiences working in retail in the past, and honestly, I don't want to go get a job where I'm, you know, an average of 10 to 15 years older than all my colleagues. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I've got feelers out. I'm searching. I'm trying to figure out a way around it. So I do freelance work in my industry. Well, one thing that has opened up, I think, that I also didn't think about was freelance work in the TTRPG industry now. Like, I spent the past 2 years researching and formulating opinions, some right, some wrong, depending on who I'm talking to, and making content. And I've been doing it for fun, mostly, until recently. And I guess I've developed like at least a familiarity with the industry that a lot of people don't have at this point. Just because I'm researching the news, I'm trying to be up to date, and yeah, maybe I could get a job within the TTRPG industry, doing freelance stuff. Maybe we'll see. Oh, hold on. Training arc related. I had a player who I let build a spell in 4 hours as an exam in a school. Rolls on Arcana Intelligence and so on with increasing difficulty according to what they wanted to do. Yeah. Yeah, it really, like, training arcs really are just like a list of encounters. I've always wanted to do the Hunter x Hunter training arc. It's not a training arc, the competition they do to become a hunter. Because I think that would be so much fun. But yeah, I don't know, a mix of like different checks and puzzles and combat, and you're sorted. I love the channel, friend. Hope you're still able to continue with it. How are we liking the monster manual so far? All right. Okay. Yes. We'll get into the monster manual in a second. I am getting distracted. We just finish it. I'm glad the We're Done helped you put it over the edge. I hate them too. Make sure you have a wow, you guys really responded. Thank you video. Yeah, I'm gonna do an update video. I'm gonna do an update video at the end of this month. I don't know whether to reveal like the actual money side of things, because when I first started making that video, I was like, I'm just going to be as transparent as possible and show people exactly how much money I make from a video like this, or how much money I'm making every month, and how much money I actually need. But then I kind of stopped myself because I don't know, different people, different countries even have different things about like talking about money, and I almost didn't want it to be a thing of like, oh, I just need this much more money and I'm good to go. I wanted it to be like, I didn't make enough to hit my goal. But I think maybe it would help. I feel like when I first started as a YouTuber, it would have been nice to see someone else's breakdown of their stuff. But it's also wildly different. That's the other thing. I literally Googled it. I was like, should I talk about YouTube earnings? And no, people were like, that I did that and it did not go down well because there's another channel or other channels in my niche, and we all make wildly different money, even though we get the same views. And it throws things out of whack. Like, there's just no consistency there. So talking about money doesn't really matter because it's going to be different for everyone. I also like, I was trying to make it clear there as well. I'm not complaining. Like, if I wanted to be full-time YouTuber and go for it, and it was more the only thing I ever wanted, if I just moved to a cheaper city, I'd have a much better chance of doing it. And like, it's a choice for me not to do that. So it's not, I mean, it's my wife here and it's her family here, and there's a lot of other stuff going on. But you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want it to be like, I need more money because I choose to live in such an expensive city. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Part of me is like, we should move back to England, move to a nice small town where you can, like, my rent is like a third of what it is here. And yeah. But it's not that. It's also the unpredictability of it. It's like, I don't want to move to a place where I don't want to live, and then my channel dies, and I'm like, now I'm in a place I don't want to live, and I don't have a YouTube channel. But the thing I found about that video is the reaction of it from people, and even people I know who watched it, is that I guess in most of my videos, I don't take the time just to chat and, like, I don't know, let people know what's going on. And I think that's the feedback I got, was like, people like that. People like seeing, you know, almost behind the curtain and getting to know what I'm actually like, good and bad, rather than just like me trying to edit as fast as I can and make you watch for longer and, you know, script all my stuff perfectly. They want to see a little bit more unhinged stuff. Do you practice monster sounds before a session? I suck at all sounds. I want to do a video. So I think everyone has this, or should have this as a DM. It's like, if you could have a skill, or if you could improve something about yourself that you think would take you to the next level, for me it is sounds, it's accents, it's I cannot do accents. I say I can't do. I'm scared of doing accents as well. I don't have the confidence. I'm trying to be like. Recently, I've been going away just to like, just do it and see what comes out and what happens. But I've never been comfortable with my own voice, my ability to do sound effects or accents. So I would love to do a video where, and you guys tell me if you would watch this, because it would be a lot of work, but where I actually go to a vocal coach and I ask them, what do I need to do to improve my vocal range, to do accents, you know, and actually like get like an expert telling me how to improve. I think that would be a really interesting video. And then it could open a series as well where I'm like, okay, you know, a bad DM goes to a vocal coach to improve is like episode 1. And episode 2 is a bad DM goes to improv classes, because that's another huge thing. Like, if I go to improv classes for a few weeks, will that make me better at DMing D&D? And just get like that on camera, and because there'll be some exercises and there'll be some things that people can learn, and then at the end of it I can be like, it didn't do anything, or I can be like, it made me better at DMing in my opinion, and then people can be like, okay, I'm gonna go do improv, or I'm gonna go to a vocal coach or whatever. I'm sure there's other stuff as well. What other stuff? I guess in a weird way, like other skills would be like an event management thing. Like I went to an event management course to see if I'd be better at like controlling games, like the pace and flow. Creative writing courses, I'm sure would be a massive one as well. Record yourself doing an accent, listen to it and take it from there. You can learn a lot just by listening to your recordings. That is good advice. It's good advice, for sure. I've got to get over that cringe of listening to myself. Mystic Arts, get out of here, buddy. How's it going? Mystic Arts, you've come into the space and you've taken it by storm. I hope you're enjoying it and that the pressure's not a lot, because I know the roller coaster ride of YouTube can be a lot, but just know you're doing a phenomenal job, and everyone loves you seemingly. Listen, you got to set your own goals and make your own calls based off what you wanted to do. No shame in that. Fair. And small up-and-coming creative videos like that are very appreciated. Hey man, for what it's worth, we love your channel and videos. Great videos, thank you. Maybe do some collabs, but know that we're here to watch you do your thing. Yeah. You've nailed the British accent. Dude, when I was born in Canada, and I faked this accent when I met my now wife because I thought she would like it more, and I've literally had to keep it up the whole time. The whole time. It's been a lot. I've had to hire actors in England to pretend to be my parents. It's just, I do not recommend faking your entire life for love. That sounds like a fun video series. I'm just getting into improv partially for this reason. Yeah, I mean, you look at all what I consider like very good DMs in the limelight. So yes, they're entertainer DMs. They do actual plays and stuff. But a lot of them have done improv or do improv, or are like theatre kids, you know? It's a huge part of it. It's something I never had growing up. I was never a theatre kid. I always shied away from the spotlight. So it's like, how do I get to that point where like they love being in character, they love role-playing, they love doing voices, they can't help themselves. How do I get to that mindset rather than my mindset, which is like, oh, now I've got to do a silly goblin voice for the next 10 minutes. How can I speed this up and get out of this one? Outlover animation, I did not switch it off. I don't know how to currently from this side of things. But it's something in the future I'll probably do. Arse has exploded, yeah. By the way, I love this channel. It's such a bonus. Agile Monk, you get inspiration. You're a backing vocalist in a metal band for years, so I had to learn critical listening. You have to learn how it sounds to everyone else. Yeah, that's fair. And that's a big thing about doing YouTube videos. When I first started making YouTube videos, it was in 2020. It wasn't D&D. I had a different channel. I wanted to be a streamer on Twitch. Really, I wanted to play video games because I was playing video games. And I wanted to see if I could like grow on Twitch doing it. But it was mostly a confidence thing. The idea of being on camera, like I'm doing now, or the idea of like making a YouTube video, terrified me. And that kind of lack of confidence was throughout my life in loads of other different things. And I think I got to the point where like, as a teenager, I was really awkward and very shy. And then I kind of came out my shell a bit, but like my mind never realized, if that makes sense. So I'd talk to people and I'd be like, oh, Phil, he's very confident. He's a nice guy, blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not confident. I'm nice. I am nice, but I'm not confident. And they're like, you seem confident. I'm like, well, I don't feel it. So when I started YouTube and streaming, it was to feel more confident in doing this kind of stuff. And it worked. YouTube especially, like recording myself talking to a camera and then putting it into an editing software and then watching and rewatching myself and hearing my voice and figuring out how my mannerisms and how I talk gave me a real idea of what I look and sound like, which I never had before. And then, I noticed a change throughout my whole life, and I'm still shy, you know. I still don't like being in the spotlight, but it's a massive help. Genuinely. Mr. Gartz, oh God, don't mention the pressure. Love your videos too, man. Hey, Mystic, if you ever want to talk, let me know, because I know it can be a lot, but you're doing really well. I mean, I don't want to add any pressure, but I think you're good, man. You're good. I was an improv nerd first and found D&D. Nice. Yeah, that's a superpower. That is a superpower. Vin Giang's YouTube channel has really helped me improve my social interaction, voice storytelling, presence for DMing. I'll check that out. A big part of it is just knowing the embarrassment of sounding like a crazy person in front of your friends. Yeah, Samuel, you're new to D&D? Well, welcome in. I hope the community treats you well. The community's in a weird place right now with D&D in general. Shies away from Spotlight, becomes a DM, hosts a live stream on 2 platforms. Makes sense. Yeah. And you know the weird thing was the YouTube stuff, as far as just gaining confidence. The reason why I stuck with it so much is just because I'm a gamer, and they gamify these systems, and that is what motivated me to keep going, mostly more than anything. And especially when I did badly or things weren't going that well, rather than like giving up, the gaming side of me is just like, okay, I've got to do better now. I'm losing the game. How do I win? So I don't think I'm competitive, but maybe I am. Maybe there's something to it. All right, Dave, hi. All right, let's actually talk about the Monster Manual real quick. So I just grabbed here, obviously, Goblin from Legacy. Wait. Source. Monster Manual 2024, Monster Manual 2014. Got 2 Goblin bosses over here. I mean, right off the bat, I know I'm in the way, I apologize. Right off the bat, one of these pages looks cleaner and nicer than the other, and one of them has a photo. I think when you look at this, when you look at the amount of text over, this is the 2014 version, and you look at the amount of text on the 2024 version, it's very clear to see that they have made good changes. Oh, you can be the first to post a comment for Goblin Boss, guys. If anyone wants to be that, go for it. Go type first. I personally really like the new stat blocks, as far as like they look cleaner. I do wonder if it was up to me. I think I would have changed a few more things, but this is the weird thing. This, like, every DM DMs completely differently, and most DMs, I think, certainly the way I do it, I go for like just ease of use, and there's a lot of the times when I would just ignore a lot of this stuff. I will even like make up kind of like certain skills on the spot. I'll randomize them, if that makes sense. So like if a goblin has to do a stealth check, I'll note down that like, oh, this goblin probably has a stealth check of +3 or +4, and this one is a +5. I'll change them up just because it's weird that all goblin bosses are exactly the same. But then other people would be like, no, it's balanced. This is like created and it's balanced. So if you're not using this full stat block as it is, then you're, you know, doing your players a disservice. And both those things are like completely correct. As far as the rest of this stuff goes, the goblin boss is pretty similar in changes. They both have AC 17. They've got rid of this stuff, which I do like. They've put initiative in easier to see place. I don't know if they had to type out the entire word initiative, but I guess it's to stop it from being confused with intelligence, maybe? HP's the same, speed's the same. Yeah, these are very similar. I do hate that on this side, like, traits is down here. And then the trait is actually up here. That's not laid out well. They've fixed that. They've got rid of the trait action completely. And it's now a bonus action to nimble escape. Yeah, I think they have made it a lot more streamlined and a lot easier to see. But damage-wise, so they still make 2 attacks. Weapon attack, +4. They've actually made it more complex. Melee weapon attack, +4. Melee attack roll, +4. No, they haven't. They've just changed the wording. Reach 5 feet. 1d6 +2, 1d6 +2. Oh, I'm sorry, +2 slashing damage if the attack roll has advantage, which they did not have before. Right? So they just straight up they buffed it. And then they've got rid of like the idea of the javelin, and now it's a short bow. +4, 1d6 +2, piercing damage, and if it has advantage, they get the extra damage again. So yeah, and the short bow has a better range than javelin did. So it's just a straight up buff. Agile Monk, thank you so much for joining the bonus action faction. That genuinely means a lot. I think you're my 8th member. That means now, or maybe I've got to go turn it on, but now it should appear, like your name should appear at the bottom of my, what did you just do? What did you just do? Gifted 10 bonus action members. Agile, thank you so much. Genuinely. Holy crap. I genuinely really appreciate that. I now have 11 members. Well, now I'm speechless. Thank you. Thank you. Now you may have just made it so that I have to keep making content for another year. So okay. Where was I? Threw me off. Agile Monk. Take him back. No, thank you. Don't take him back. Short bow gives them more range, yeah. Yeah, the extra damage if attack advantage is new, but I do like it. Yeah, and it's something that like I now have to think about making sure they get advantage. It's actually making my job as a DM more fun without making it more difficult, because most of the time I won't care. It's like just a little extra thing. They took disadvantage on the second attack in the multi-attack. Oh, they had... The second attack has disadvantage. What? I didn't know that was there. I feel like I've ran a goblin boss and I just never read that. The second attack has disadvantage. And then here, goblin makes 2 attacks using scimitar or shortbow in any combination. Yeah. And then redirect attack, I think, is the same. Though, wait, is it? When a creature, the goblin can see targets it with an attack. The goblin chooses another goblin within 5 feet of it. The 2 goblins swap places, and the chosen goblin becomes a target instead, and the other goblin throws up because they've just been switched around. A creature, goblin can see, makes an attack roll against it. In response, the goblin chooses a small or medium ally within 5 feet of it. Goblin chooses another goblin. Goblin chooses a small or medium ally. Ah. Goblin and the ally swap places. The ally becomes the target of the attack instead. So, oh, 1 second. Alright, sorry. So they made it so that you can switch now with any ally, not just another goblin. So it really is like, it's a bunch of very small things. But overall, if most creatures have these minor changes, like across the board, like this whole monster manual is a big buff. So, phenomenal. Truly enjoyed your channel. I'm about to promote you on my tier guild site. Oh, thank you, Achal. Please don't leave. Well, hey guys, you're making it very hard to leave. I should say, I hope the video, I was never planning on leaving. It was just leaving full-time YouTube. And I mean, I'll be honest, it may have led to leaving, depending on how, depending on my new job and how taxing that is. But yeah. But my intention was always to still make videos, just way less. PB +2 must mean proficiency, but shouldn't that dex save be +4? Maybe. I'm going to presume they know what they're doing. For example, in small changes, check out the Hook Horror's Hook attack in the new book. I'm so sad I missed the old cover. Alright, I'll check out the Hook Horror. I've never played a Hook Horror. Actually, sorry, let's switch those around for ease of use. The art. The art is so much better. But one thing I've noticed from the new book, and it's one thing I did want to talk about, I've got some things that I want to go through with this, is that I'm going to open it up on a page where it has a massive spread, just Sod's Law. But actually, most of the art in this, while genuinely really, really good and impressive, is small. And it's... Honestly, I said the same thing about Player's Handbook. Often, the art would be like a quarter or even an eighth of the page. And I understand why. Like, art takes up space when they could have actual content. But it's a pity because the art's so nice. And I think there is a conversation that I've not heard many people talk about, where I think this book and all these books have been designed heavily with the digital side in mind. And looking at D&D Beyond, looking at Hook Horror here, and how it's laid out, it feels like it's nicer. Like, D&D Beyond is now nicer. So look at these new creatures. So whatever that says for the planning for the future of D&D, to me, it almost feels like they've prioritized how this is going to look online more than in book. Oh yeah. Right, so let's see these changes to the Hook Horror. They talked about how hard it was to fit everything they wanted to get into the book. They cut art for start blocks. Yeah. Which, everyone likes different things. I wish the art was bigger, but I get it. I get it. I understand it. Yeah. So on a hook attack, they added the moving of a large or smaller creature, and there's no save. Okay. So old hook was just a melee weapon attack plus 6 to hit. It's the same. It's the same range, 10 foot. Same hit for 11. But now, if the target is a large or smaller creature, the hook horror moves the target 5 feet straight toward or away from itself. Yeah, that's just crazy added versatility. It's a small thing, but I do like the change of the background color on the start blocks. The faux parchment color just didn't do it for me online. Was okay in the book. You know what, Mick Chaos? That's huge. I hadn't thought about that, but I 100% agree with it. 100% agree with it. It does look weird. It kind of looks dated online. It looks a bit amateurish. Sorry, I keep getting... My D&D group is popping off. Because I got some Hero Forge minis. And they do look cool. Okay. Yeah. They have, without a doubt, buffed these monsters. So, I wonder if there's any that have just been destroyed. I really would like to take a look in that and see if they've nerfed any tremendously. But from a DM point of view, there's a lot of small updates and fixes here that are going to make my life better. Whether or not they needed to do it is another thing, but it's there and it's going to make my life better. So whether it's worth $50 or for me, I bought the physical book and I bought it on D&D Beyond, so it's, $70 or whatever. It looks like print media slapped on the web, yeah. It reminds me of some old MMORPG. Yeah, it looks like they screenshot the book and they just stuck the screenshot into here. Vineblight got a big nerf. Ooh. Okay. Let's have a look at that. Fun thing about the Blights is that they were the first monster I ever ran in D&D. Switch these around again. You see what I mean? That art is smaller. The art is just objectively smaller. Oh, wait, actually. Yeah, the art's just smaller. It's an interesting thing. Which wouldn't be as much of an issue, but they've added way more detail in. Oh, now the image at the top. They've added way more detail into it. So actually what they're doing is they're adding more detail and they're making it smaller. So it's harder to read initially. And I found often, rather embarrassingly, that when I'm reading the monster manual, this could be an age thing. I'm not going to lie. This could just me be getting older. But I'm often opening the page to a book and then I'm looking real close to see what's going on. I'm getting real close to the book just to see what's in the art. You know what? This is an old man thing. This is an old man thing. Forget it. This is biased criticism. I'm just losing my eyesight. I need reading glasses. The stuff we learn. So Red Dragon is under R rather than under D for drug. Okay, yes, okay. This is all good stuff. That's Umberto. Hello, by the way. I do have a little bit of a list. Hold on. Of stuff that I've come across, which is a list of stuff I wanted to actually talk about this monster manual. Right, okay. So, I'm also kind of I want to make a video where I get my wife to, who's a player, to sit down with me, and we go through the monster manual. I show her images, and she has to guess the name of what each monster is. But I don't think it'd be that good because I think it'd be entertaining to an extent. But she's a player, so she knows a lot of monsters. So I have to choose more obscure monsters to make it harder. And then 2, I don't want it to look like I'm making fun of her for not knowing stuff because I don't know the names of a ton of monsters in here. Sounds like a lot of fun. I think it'd be neat. I saw someone do it with Marvel Rivals characters. He got his wife to name Marvel Rivals characters, and his wife had seen all the Marvel movies, you know? So it's a similar thing. She knew a lot of them, but there were some of them that it's just like, I don't know who that is. What if we both guess? Yeah. That could work. That could work. We get someone else to choose a bunch of random ones. My wife once befriended a Medusa with mayonnaise. Alright, okay, so. Here's the deal with this book. As far as I'm concerned. For genuine first impressions, okay? The good side of it is that there are, of course, more monsters. Like, a lot more monsters. I personally really like the lower CR options of everything. Like, famously, it's gone around now that vampires have, like, a handful of different types of vampires that you can use at different levels. What I would have preferred, if I was being nitpicky, and I think this could be for another book, is what I would like a conversion table on how to take a monster at CR5 and change it to CR4, you know, and change it to CR3. That way you have a conversion table for vampires, and you're just like, okay, you just get them to do less damage and less whatever. I like the variety in here, but for me, and once again, every DM is different. For me, I don't care if all the vampires play the same, as long as I can use them at different difficulties. Do I have some new ones that I really like? I've not been through the full thing yet enough to be like, I really like this new monster in particular. Until I play them and see how they play, I don't really know. But man, I am looking through it. The art is very cool. So, more monsters. They've all been buffed. Like, all these monsters, all the older monsters, are either the same or have been buffed, which is really nice. I think I've realized that, like, there's no need to balance down and make it bad for anyone. They've just kind of done a reset where, like, it's inflation, right? Everything's more powerful now, and everybody wins. Players, you're more powerful. Monsters are more powerful. But I particularly like that most of the buffs aren't just straight damage or rolls to hit. It is versatility. It's to be able to do more stuff if certain things line up. So you've got to be tactical about it. The new stat blocks. I've been through this. I really like them. They are a lot easier. What I do wish is certainly on D&D Beyond, and I'm including D&D Beyond on here because I think a lot of people are going to be buying it on here. I wish there was a way that I could very easily edit a stat block on here. You know, I wish I could be like, they're going to fight a Vine Blight, but I don't want the Vine Blight to have entangling plants, you know? I want to make it slightly easier, so I want to get rid of this. I wish I could just, like, temporarily, just for me, delete that or hide that. Or I might be like, this is a special mutation of a Vine Blight, and it's not deaf. So it doesn't have immunities to being deafened, or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, I wish I could just switch and change things out. And what would be even more impressive, if they had this whole calculation set up and laid out, where I could double click into here and change its wisdom level, or I could change its charisma, or I could change its dex, and the CR would like automatically update. You know, imagine that. We have the technology to do that, right? We can do this. Well, I can make an entire new monster from this monster, and it would do all the calculations for me and tell me like, oh, you've made this too hard for your players. You know, they don't do that. I wish they did. For the CR's conversion, use Sly Flourish's Forge of Foes. Ooh, I will check that out. Hags, like other types, are no longer grouped together. For example, yeah. The organization of this, I think, is improved. I don't think it's good. For example, the biggest thing for me is like, and they said this in like the one of the Wizards of the Coast videos. They like to use NPCs a lot. And it might be in here. I was looking, I couldn't see it. But like NPC stat blocks. You know, like a priest or a cultist or the new tough, which is like replacing like the orc stat block. Fundamentally humanoids that can be anything. They could be human, elf, dwarf, orc, drow. You just taking it and you're putting the flavor you're putting on there is the way you roleplay it. I've got no issue with that, but they should put them together at the back of the book, right? They should have a list of them all these humanoid variants, and they should all be grouped together. Because if I open this book and I'm like, oh, I need to go and find, I want like one priest, I want one cultist, and they've added a ton more cultists, by the way, in here. And this is why I do like the organization of the book. I know exactly where to go for cultist, even though there's so many in here. But this is the cultist page, and they've got normal cultist, cultist fanatic, cultist hierophant. Am I saying that right? An aberrant cultist, death cultist, elemental cultist, fiend cultist. They have a ton of different cultists, but I'm like, I want in this like gang of enemies to have some bandits in there as well. And then I've got to go find bandits, and I just wish they were all these humanoid things were together. And that's such a small thing. It's the way I play. I use those lists a lot. But it's kind of annoying to traverse this the way that I DM. Just out of curiosity, how do you feel about the new D&D changes when compared to some of the other tabletop options that are coming out? I may end up switching off D&D to something else. I don't know. I have pre-ordered. I've pre-ordered Daggerheart, and I will definitely be looking at the Cosmere RPG. I wonder if Daggerheart is different enough to warrant people switching who aren't big Critical Role fans. Like, when I think about it, it's like, if it's up to me, I would DM with Daggerheart, right? Because I like the feel and vibe of that game. And it's different enough, but still the same. So, like, as a DM, I don't have to, like, do mental gymnastics to become, like, competent GMing a different game. But I've got to think about convincing my players, right? I've got to really think about being like, hey, guys, we should play this instead. And they're like, why? And I'm like, oh, it's Daggerheart, it's Critical Role, I really want to DM it. And they're like, okay, but how is it different? And then if I'm just like, well, you roll 2 d12s instead of a d20, and it's slightly more narrative focused, they're like, okay, but it still feels a little bit like a clone of it, right? So I think if you were going to get me to play a different system in 2025, and here's the thing, because everyone's like, oh yeah, play different systems and stuff, and like people don't want to do it, for sure. And it's because I have a fantasy role-playing system. It's D&D. I have it, I know it. I've played hours upon it. Should I try other stuff? Probably. But I also have played hours upon hours of Apex Legends. First-person shooter video game. And it frustrates me to no end. I often rage quit out of that game but I still keep playing it, even though there's other shooters out there. And the reason why I keep playing it is because I know it very well. Habit as well. Not saying it's a good thing, but it's there. And 3, my friends play it. And that's one of the biggest ones, and my friends know it. And it's a game that I've found that all my friends like playing. We've tried different games, but inevitably, 1 or 2 people don't gel with it, and we always end up going back to Apex Legends. And that's kind of what I feel about D&D. However, if my friends were like, let's play this racing game, I'd be way more willing to give it a go because it's completely different. So my issue with the other TTRPGs is we keep releasing fantasy TTRPGs, and when we have them, give me more sci-fi TTRPGs. Give me more set in the modern day TTRPGs or superhero TTRPGs. And this, I've not thought this through well. So if it comes across badly, everyone's leaning in now, getting ready to cancel me. Feel free to educate me here. But there is a weird thing in the TTRPG industry where the onus is on the customer base to make other games successful. And in other industries, that's not the case. The case is that companies who make games, and I'm not saying they're not doing this, I'm not saying they should do better. I think maybe it's an issue with the industry and the way it's dealt with. But in other industries, it's on the game or the product to stand out and be special and do things better. And it's also on them to market themselves really well. And if you have a product that is better than the other products on the market and it's marketed really well, then it's just going to rise to the top. And like, I think this onus on like, people should play other games. It's now it's time for like other games to rise up. It's like, that's not the like, that's not for the customer base. Sure, they decide what wins, but they just follow what is best in that moment. So it's a weird thing where I'm just like, and yeah, you could argue like D&D's had too much of a monopoly now. So it's very hard for new TTRPGs to come out of the woodwork. But I feel like we see it, right? With Matthew Coville's new TTRPG, Draw Steel, with the DC-21, with the Cosmere one, with Daggerheart, we are seeing these things make millions of dollars. We had it with the Avatar TTRPG years ago, where they make news headlines. Everyone's talking about them. People buy them. We even had it with the Lord of the Rings one as well. And some of them get really good reviews, but it's like they need to do more. They have the attention, they have the people liking it, but they at some point something happens and D&D comes back up. So it's like, what is happening? You know? Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I've not played it, but it looks so awesome. Yeah. So I've not looked at chat in ages. I just found a nerf, the Banshee 2014. Any creature that fails to save on a whale drops 0 hit points. In 2025, this only happens if the creature has 25 or fewer hit points. Ah. That's better. That is better, though. But yeah, it's fair. That is a nerf. You have the Cosmere RPG pre-ordered. You're pretty hyped. I'll have to check out Daggerheart. Yeah. I think it's going to be... It's just how much room do we have in our lives for multiple fantasy TTRPGs? The only reason I don't engage with another system is simply because I don't want to learn another rule set, because I would start getting the 2 or more confused. That is true. And it also depends how you play. There are some DMs out there who just pick up rule sets really fast. And then there's people like me who I've made a whole YouTube channel about deep diving into specific things on how to improve at D&D. And I'm hoping a lot of that stuff is transferable to other systems, but that's just my mindset. I like to really deep dive, and I can't do that if I'm trying out a new system every 2 months. Just found the Gristo Demon has quite a few changes. That's my favorite big bad demon. Ooh, I'll check that one out. During the OGL Fandango, I tried Pathfinder 2E. Your group collectively decided that it wasn't for us, just too crunchy. I try all different TTRPGs if I had people to play with. Yeah, fair. All good points so far. D&D is a commodity product. No other TTRPGs are as well integrated. That's a major hurdle. Yeah. It's almost not even on customers or other companies to do anything. It's the government needs to step in and stop insane. I know it's not a monopoly, but whatever percentage market share they have is too much. Well, you're right, League also enjoys this in the MOBA space. Now MOBAs die in the space of LoL and Dota. Same with any new RTS with CS2. Yeah, that is true. There is a similarity there. Well, no, those games have released. True. I meant in general. They don't have 50 years of content. You're the only streamer that my short attention span brain can watch. People don't watch change as it involves learning a new rule set. Most RPGers don't want that yet. And I just finished a new TTRPG, 450 pages with 250 plus page bestiary. Nice. That's a lot of work, dude. Nice. I feel it's revolutionary and has things that hasn't been done, but the challenge will be marketing it, yeah. I've been DMing D&D since 98 and I haven't felt compelled to try different systems. I like how they've simplified 5e. It focuses on being able to roleplay more, in my opinion. And then RuneQuest is just as much content as D&D. D&D has a staying power that new TTRPGs are going to struggle to compete with. Yeah, the fact that, like, let's face it, Wizards of the Coast lost so much trust and messed up so many times over the course of the past couple of years, and they're still leading the race by far, is crazy. I see like videos of being like, oh yeah, D&D's gone woke, so it's gone broke. They've not sold any of their books. They've not done well. They've made these changes. No one's playing it. And I'm like, they're still doing okay. They're fine. And a year ago, people were like, the OGL disaster, or 2 years ago now, the OGL disaster has made it so that D&D is dead. No one's going to play it anymore. And it's like, they're still there. We've got to stop making the videos and the articles about how dead D&D is until it's dead. You know? Umberto. Yes, I'm on YouTube as well. Sorry, I should have put that somewhere. I should put it in the description. I'm currently multi-streaming, and the YouTube chat is popping in comparison to the Twitch, so I keep getting drawn to that. Please do not feel like I'm ignoring you. Cool Cylinder, I apologize. Hey, how's it going? I'm bad at this. I'm going to get better. I'm going to figure out a way to merge my chats. My bad. Do you prefer us to stay there? I personally was going into this and I thought this would be the other way around. I thought I would have a handful of people on Twitch watching me, and then I would have like 1 or 2 people on YouTube coming in and out, and I would be looking at Twitch chat more and having more of a conversation on Twitch. I have 60 people watching me on YouTube right now, which is mind-blowing, and thank you. Hit the like button, guys. It's very powerful. Hit that like button. So I've just been like surprisingly impressed with YouTube. Genuinely surprised. Initially, I was like, I'm going to turn chat off on YouTube because no one's going to come in. And if people want to chat, they'll see me talking to Twitch chat and they'll come over there. But yeah. No, you're hearing impaired and it's easier to read comments while you respond to them. And you couldn't find them. What do you mean you couldn't find them? You mean chat? YouTube is D&D video. YouTube is a D&D of video content. Yeah, I mean, every industry has one, right? Every industry has one. It's just, there's something about, do you guys know what Marmite is? Do we have any British people in the chat? So, because in England, there's a product called Marmite, right? And it is like it's a spread that I guess you put on bread and stuff. I don't actually know. I hate it. But the fact that I hate it is a very interesting thing because their marketing The whole marketing of Marmite is literally their motto is you either love it or hate it. They're like, Marmite, you either love it or hate it. And the adverts would be like someone like offering someone Marmite and one person being like, oh, I hate Marmite, get that away from me. And someone else being, give it me, I love it. And it like tricks people's minds into being like, okay, I either love it or hate it. And when you have a love it or hate it mentality, which is what D&D's built up as well, I don't think they've done it on purpose though, but when you have that, no one thinks Marmite is just okay, right? They either love it or hate it. So the people who hate it and will never buy it will stay well away from it, but everyone else loves it. So they buy, and eat. And it's like a personality to it. It's like, oh, Marmite, do you love it or hate it? It's one or the other. It's genius marketing. It's fundamentally marketing that says, like, there's always going to be people who don't like our product, so let's make it fun for them. They don't like our product. Let's make it so that they get to be part of this debate. But I hate that thing. That is disgusting. And they're like, we know. We know it's disgusting for, like, most people. But the other people who don't find it disgusting, it's the best thing in the world. Marmite is horrid, but my missus loves it. I don't think I've ever had Marmite just because of that marketing. So I guess it's not that good. But I've always thought, like, I think I smelt it once. I was like, it's not for me, but I hate it. Thank you for the raid, Carp, the DM. Raiding with a party of 6. That's awesome. How was your stream? For people in Twitch chat, I am on YouTube at the same time, so I am sorry if it seems like I am responding to people who aren't here. I'm not. I am insane, but I'm not that insane. I'm responding to actual people. Marmite equals engine grease, basically, for your mouth. Been playing running D&D in various forms since '83 with the old red box. Have tried all editions as they came. The only one we didn't get with was 3 and 3.5, but loving 5e. Yeah. They've really nailed something with 5e. That's the other testament. It's like, forget D&D, forget the marketing, forget Wizards of the Coast. 5th edition is truly a marvel of, like, a rule system. People like playing it. People like DMing it. So you... And they had a lot of time and they made a lot of mistakes to kind of get to this point. So then it's like, how do other TTRPGs compete with that? And I do think the answer for me is truly don't compete with the fantasy TTRPG. Find another loophole. It's like, it's like Marvel with the cinematic universe just monopolizing the superhero genre. And if you're like, oh, I've got some money, let's make a movie. Don't make a superhero movie. Go make it. There's so many different genres. There's so many different things you can play around with. Go for something else. You should write a Marmite elemental monster. Yeah, and it should have like a charm ability that has 50% of succeeding to make you love it or hate it. You play D&D to be slightly schizophrenic. Is inside character. What do you mean by that? Greetings from Brazil. Greetings, Thales. Greetings from Canada. For me, a big part for choosing D&D was also its accessibility. There's way more content on YouTube on how to learn it. That is true. That is true. When I first started D&D, I found the online community was just fun. This was before the OGL. It's become less fun. It's still fun now. And D&D Beyond. Like, D&D Beyond, despite how much I hate it, and my latest video that just came out, I have a big rant about it. But the ease of getting in and making a character with D&D Beyond is just unrivaled in my eyes. And the marketing behind it and the fact that, like, it's, yeah. But that's not to say that there are, there's competitors out there that have made it very easy to make a character and stuff. But even if I use them, like D&D is just the most accessible thing by far. And that's just infrastructure. That's just them doing a good job again. I know Wizards of the Coast didn't make D&D Beyond originally. They bought it. But if other TTRPGs had something as accessible and as easy to use, then it would put it in a much better position. But yeah, it's hard, man. The other problem with... I think the biggest problem with switching from D&D, if you want to play other TTRPGs, is that a lot of people play D&D long term, like a year-long campaign, and then they finish that year-long campaign and they're like, I've been wanting to play a different character for ages, the next year-long campaign. So that's the other thing, and I'm not really sure if there's any other products out there like that are just like, we're here to stay. I guess like TVs or mattresses. You buy a new mattress every 8 years, you know? But it's hard to get your foot in the door when like you've got to wait for different people to fundamentally retire from their games to even, get any eyes on your products. But I shaved. I did. I went to the barber and for the first time in my life got a full razor blade shave. Which was very nice. I find that very relaxing. It's like ASMR to me. But it is a little bit scary. But it feels nice now. But don't worry, the beard is coming back. Mothership is basically Alien, is that correct? Oh, yes. I will take any recommendations for sci-fi TTRPGs, by the way. Any good, simple to learn sci-fi TTRPGs. I'm so down. Did I have to ever deal with THAC0? No, thank God, no. I've only played 5e when it comes to D&D. I got into it like 5 years ago, so I'm a baby in a D&D space still. Have you heard of the Firefly TTRPG or Stargate? Those are solid TTR. Oh, fun. Probably not surprising thing about me because we're in this space. Big sci-fi fan. And Stargate, I mean, I love Firefly. Who doesn't love Firefly? But Stargate, specifically, brought me up to it a little bit, to an extent. Stargate was like, as a teenager, it was the best thing ever. And I'm always surprised why it's not more celebrated, I guess, or not bigger. A Stargate TTRPG would be phenomenal because you could do it episode by episode where you go through the gate and get like a different moral quandary or something. A Wild West one would be cool, Rebel Scum. Boyle Hobby Time. I've not heard of it, no. Just finished a 3-year-long campaign. Man, that must feel good. That must feel good. Well, also sad, I guess. D&D Beyond really took a big hit with accessibility with 2024 rules additions. D&D Beyond really, yeah. That was before 3E. The first 2 Baldur's Gate games used it. Wanting a lower active. I kind of want to play the first 2 Baldur's Gate games, and then like come back into Baldur's Gate 3, which I've played and completed, but I kind of want to go through again at some point soon. D&D Beyond really helped you get into DMing. Now you're running Curse of Strahd and loving it. You have a telly set up on my table using VTT. That sounds awesome, man. Stargate, rah. Big fan. The Expanse is really good. I actually worked on The Expanse. Just saying. One of the first TV shows I ever worked on when I moved to Canada, got a job in the VFX industry, and it was for The Expanse season 4. And I was a big fan of the show before I started working. It was a really weird experience. It was like, I love The Expanse and now I'm working on it. And I mostly was dealing with just footage. Like, I mean, I can't talk about it too much, but it's like footage coming in from the production house who actually filmed it all. So we'd get it all with the green screen on, without any effects, and then we would work on the effects for a lot of the space shots. And I was like, how do I work on a show without having it spoiled for me in a big way? It was a weird thing of like, I could, really dig. Yeah, it was like hard. Expense is great. Expense is a great show. So the Star Trek RPG from Modifius, is that? When it was playtesting, despite being a big Trek fan, I didn't enjoy the gameplay. Just want to say thank you. I have started DMing a few months ago, running 2 7+ level campaigns, introduced all my friends to it, and my videos have been a huge help. Oh, thank you. Yeah. All right. Sorry, this is so difficult to stay on track here. Monster Manual. Oh. The other pros which I'm looking forward to actually using is it's got more information in there just in general. And a lot of the marketing was like habitats and treasures and inspiration tables. Like there's a table for mimics they kept talking about, which was like, oh, these are inspiration of, these are what like mimics could be. I gotta say that stuff, not that impressed by in here. Like it's there, it's not to the extent that I thought it was gonna be. And I guess mileage may vary depending on the kind of DM you are and what exact monster you're kind of using. And also, yeah, I only had 2 cons really. Like everything about this book I like, except, as I said, the like NPC list. I wish they separated that out from the monsters, and I could easily just look through priests and cultists and bandits and the new one, toughs, in a list, so I can build my own little like warband of different kind of like magic users and martial users. Kind of annoyed that it's very hard to like get through there. Like the organization of this isn't better. There's also a thing where at the back they have lists of, so for example, they've got the monsters by challenge rating, right? Which is very good. I really like that. If I want to find a CR4 creature, I can just look at this list and see that they've got like 20 CR4 creatures here. They don't have the page numbers though. They just have the list, which is fine because it's alphabetical order. The book is not hard to get through with that. But and this will come the more I use the book, I'll start to learn more. But sometimes I will like try and find it alphabetically, and I think I'm close, but there'll just be so many creatures in, say, B, that I'm like, I'm still in B. When do I get to C? And I'll overshoot it past C. I'm like, if they just had page numbers there, maybe they tried it, maybe it was too messy, but I wish it would be a lot faster to navigate if they gave more information rather than less. I mean, this is a good experiment because under CR21, there's Ancient Black Dragon and Ancient Copper Dragon in here. CR21, if I'm like, okay, I want to find the Ancient Black Dragon, I don't actually know if that's going to be under D for Dragon, B for Brass Dragon, or A for Ancient Brass Dragon. So let's find out. And I guess the benefit is there is contents at the front as well that you can kind of go. So Ancient Black Dragon is page 40. And it's under Black Dragons, which would make sense. But the fact that I have to like go to the back of the book, then to the front of the book, and then to page 40 to find it is like, that'll change. As I get used to the book and understand it more, that will become easier. But yeah. It's B for Brass Dragon or B for Black Dragon. Yeah. Yeah, the stuff like that though is, once again, I think that like they're not too bothered about it. The physical book. Because that I don't have to worry about that in the monster manual online because I can just click. In fact, sources, the monster, that's the free rules. Where's my monster manual? There it is. I can go to Monsters by Challenge Rating here, and this is what I'm looking at in the book, but I can just click on it. So it's 1,000 times easier. Like if I used online, there's no need for page numbers, there's no need for nothing. And in fact, if they had page numbers on here, can you imagine? It would look awful and be weird. So it's like the price I pay for having a really streamlined online experience is that the book is slightly harder for me to get around. What's the live for right now? You mean my live? Just talk about the monster manual. Yeah, they could have done better with the treasure and stuff. For sure. For sure. Alright, so the real thing here, while I'm here, this is actually quite nice. I do want to build an encounter for my next session. So let me grab. The deal in my next session is that my players have been traveling the world collecting MacGuffins, which are known as World Stones. World Stones are spelt, of course, WYRLDSTONES. Each World Stone gives them power to, if they collect enough of them, they power up, which is them leveling up. That's my excuse for why they get more powerful as the adventures go on. They get enough of these World Stones, they level up. They've been requested by a demigod to collect them to stop some evil rising. It's blah blah blah. It's D&D, D&D stuff. But the next World Stone they go to, this has been kind of episodic Monster of the Week, this campaign so far, which I've been enjoying. The next World Stone they're going to is in a place called Mordralis, also known as the Dead City. But the interesting thing about Mordralis, and I'd love to get your take on this in general, is Mordralis was fundamentally a beautiful, vibrant, big city, let's say 150 years ago. I've not ironed out the timeline yet, when academic wizards in their universities were playing with a very powerful, potent energy source, and something happened, and there was a giant magical explosion, turning the entire city, well, first of all, killing most of the inhabitants, or maybe mutating them, and also causing there to be wild magic surges happening everywhere. The city became very dangerous, kind of radioactive. At the center where the explosion went off, there is still like a potent magical energy, which is unstable, so the city's just off limits. So that's fundamentally it. So for the creatures, I kind of wanted like something that could be like a mutated being to attack them when they're there. But I also wanted a bunch of their old enemies from previous sessions to catch up to them. And fundamentally, out of those previous sessions, there is an assassin that they've pissed off who wants to kill them. There is let's say a sorcerer who's the daughter of someone they killed. How do you spell assassin? Jesus. So many S's. And then there's a dragon. There is a dragon that they did not kill, but they did kill the friend of. And it was a white dragon. So the dragon has to kind of stay the same. But we have a new white dragon. It was an adult white dragon, which I thought was CR4. Oh, I guess it was young. It was a young white dragon? Yeah, it must have been young white dragon. Sorry. So what's the difference between 2014? Can I not search by 2014? Let me add this one. And let me get rid of... Wait, what have I done? Wait, what have I done? Source? Monster Manual 2014, of which they have a white dragon in it. I've got nothing else ticked. White. Am I going crazy? What's going on, Smokey? How are you? Dracosword, hey there, found your channel because of your D&D accessories video. Glad you... Oh, that is big news. My D&D accessories video has hit 1 million views. The one I did like 2 years ago. My first video to ever hit 1 million views. Mind-boggling crazy. Did they delete these? Or am I just doing it wrong? Hold on, just dragon. Wow. Hold on, because I had another encounter in the past that I can go check out that had the old white dragon in there. Okay, I got it. So young white dragon. Ooh. Young white dragon. Hold on. I do actually want to see this now that they've made me curious. Might be leaving the books as well. Everyone, check the 2014 monster manuals. So AC 17. Oh, it's got less HP, guys. The new version has 123, and the old version 133. CR stayed the same. Both got Ice Walk. Multi-attack dragon makes 3 attacks. Now it's just rend, so it's no longer biting and clawing, which I prefer. It's way simplified. Just one attack that I'm just doing 3 times, and it's got its cold breath still. Still a con save throw, still DC 15. Yeah, the rewording is way nicer. Like, there's so many less words to describe this. 30-foot cone. On a failure, they take 40 cold damage. Wow, okay. They nerfed White Dragon. The White Dragon is officially nerfed. It does less damage with its cold weapon. And then for the rend, it does 9 plus 2 slashing damage. So 11. Yeah, okay. I guess for roleplay, you can see, yeah. That's proper nerf. Yeah, I've got no problem with nerfs. But it's just interesting to see it. It's interesting that this was no longer searchable in the encounter builder. But I guess that's going to happen with a bunch of the. Maybe they're just going to drown out the 2014 rules. All right. Okay. So we're going up against Young White Dragon. Now we need a sorcerer and an assassin for them to fight, and then some kind of mutated creature in the city. Now, I don't intend for them to... This is like optional kind of fights. I don't expect them all to happen. I don't expect them all to fight all the way to the death, but I just want them here just in case. So for the assassin, let me go back to... What did I do here? Oh, yes. That is what I did. So, got the Young White Dragon. And now, I assume we can have a look at the book. And we're going to have... Well, no, let's not use the book. It genuinely is much better online. So what we need is by creature type, I guess. Humanoid. Okay, so I guess this is the useful list that I would want for like NPC stuff. We want a sorcerer. And when I say sorcerer, they're just a magic user, really. So I think it would be pretty cool to maybe throw an elemental cultist in there. Actually, this is the list I wanted. This is a lot harder to use in the book. But online, this is way easier. Umberto, thank you so much for the sub on Twitch. That's huge. And you gifting as well, thank you. All right, man, have a good day. Archmage, maybe. Archmage. What CR is an Archmage kicking around nowadays? Too high. Too high. This is a CR12 Archmage. But a Mage, CR6, too high. I'd be looking for around CR4 or lower. Mage Apprentice, CR2. Maybe a little bit too easy. Hold on. Let me check out the Elemental Cultist. Let's have a look. CR8. No, too high. These are all CR8s. CR10, CR2 again. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to, for now, I'm going to use the Mage Apprentice. Might be Stalker. Thank you for subscribing on Twitch, dude. You just started a hype train, which is phenomenal. Quick comparison. Zombies new. The new has fewer HP, but gets a damage increase. And skeletons, their AC increases by 1. And their dex increases by 1. As well as attacks, short sword or shortbow both become +5, 1d6, +3, rather than +4, 1d6, +2. Okay. Buffs. Alright. So we need an assassin. Well, we have assassin right here. Just the one type of assassin. No, that's a shame. Hey, we can't all be. And this is CR8. Way too high. Way too high. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a crazy, crazy powerful for an assassin. CR8's too high. It can't be more powerful than can't be more powerful than a dragon. Can't be. So, is there any spy maybe? Spy category maybe? Yeah, yeah. Same minds. CR1 too low. Spy master. CR10. Come on, that's the jump. That's the jump. A CR1 or a CR10 for spies. This isn't like me having to go at the new monster manual. It would be the same with the last monster manual, if not worse anyway. Man. Maybe Vampire Familiar. Because are they like are they slippery little guys? They get 2 dagger attacks. And they're CR3. The Familiar takes the dash or disengage action as a bonus action. That's very assassiny. They get Umbral Dagger, which they can throw or just stabby. Hit 5 plus 7 necrotic damage. Yeah, I can kind of make him like a little death assassin. In fact, I can even tie that into the backstory of him a little bit and be like, yeah, he did have a master who was a vampire for a while. We're just going to use that for now. Part of me always like overthinks these things and tries to find the perfect thing. And then I play it and they die. And then I move on. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that perfect. It's fine. So with that in mind, now we just need some kind of mutant creature. Of which I did, once upon a time, have something set up with the old 2014 stuff. And it was Kruthic, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Monster Manual is terrible if you don't know the alphabet, guys. Oh, I guess they're not in here. I guess that was that is my bad. They were from Kobold Presses. Wait, were they? Oh no, they're from Monsters of the Multiverse. These guys. Adult Kruthic. And then a Kruthic Hive Lord. So I was thinking like yeah, I might still use these. Some little guys as kind of cannon fodder at challenge rating 2. And then challenge rating 5 should give them a run for the money. Should knock 1 or 2 of them down. Maybe even 3. I have 5 players and I find I always have to like err on the side of deadly. Let's do that. So Big Bad is this guy and these minions. 2 of those. Now, insert table. What did I just do? annoying. It's just something that I always do to like help myself. Freaking completely unnecessarily. Yeah. So they're the big bads, and then this is this is the party of people who are hunting them down, hunting my players down to get them. Not necessarily will they fight this session, but they may. I'll probably keep the dragon separate from the other two when they fight, so that they have to fight them in separate things. But yeah, I like that a lot. Might be Stalker, subscribe with Prime. Have you just done that? Or is that old? But thank you nonetheless. I mean, it might be just difficult to find. Creating a 2014 character can be frustrating as you have to double check that you're clicking legacy content for everything. Yeah, that's true. But it was showing other legacy stuff. What about one of the new what's a Rakshasa? Wait, how did you spell that? Oh. CR13. Too high. Too high! Let my players level up a bit first. Freaky little bastard, yeah. There's also the CR18 Young Krithik for easy minions. Yes, yeah, I might throw some of them in there in the moment, depending on how my players are doing. I don't want to overcomplicate things. As for the actual session, I want there to be I'm comfortable doing 3 scenes, ending in combat, and then I find just improvising around those as well. I've got a pretty good idea of how this dead, radioactive, mutated city works, and it's going to be a lot of rolling on wild surge tables. So when they get to the city, they're going to come across a mad alchemist who is going to be a good guy. He's just going to be researching like the wild magic that's radiating from the inside of the city. And he's just going to warn them about how dangerous it is in there, that people who go in there don't come out, and that certain weird things happen. And he can be like their port of call for like more information and an ally. There's also, I think one of my players' partners is coming just to sit in the game of D&D because they've never played and they're curious. And there's a world where this mad alchemist has found like a warforge or some kind of like construct that I'll get a really basic stat block for, like a humanoid construct. And then the idea is that like if one of my players' partners is actually interested in the game, which I think they will be, I can be like, cool, you get to play this construct. They're really basic. They have very little personality unless you want them to. And you can help fight or you can help do puzzles or whatever. But mostly you're just being sent to help them get through this town. I hope you told your players not to tune into the stream, by the way. Well, they'll know. That's on them. If they're still watching at this point. But yeah, I think just something really simple for like someone who's never played before to be like, do you want to hit stuff in combat? Because they have a robot following them around that you can just take control of, kind of thing. You know, like you can play as Mario's hat in Mario Odyssey. Yeah, if they want to. And if they don't want to, the robot can just be like this kind of dumb, you know, robot thing that kind of follows them around. So Mad Alchemist Season 1. I have a very clear idea of how that's going to play out. It's going to be a Mad Alchemist. And, maybe I'll put some kind of mini game in there with some potions, because he is... mini game potions, where he can like offer them some potions, but he's like, I don't know what any of them do, and then I can come up with a little table for the potions to have like funny effects, or maybe some buffs, or some nerfs, if they choose to take them. Scene 2 is that he's going to send them through the city in a path that he's found to... They're looking for one of these MacGuffins, right? One of these world stones. They're going to be in a central tower of this city. So it's like the path to the tower. To the tower. And I like the idea of freaky, like, magical, wild magic storms. So... wild magic storms, and once again, there's the wild magic surge table, which I'll just use, no issue, and I'll just say like for now it's may change, but I'm just gonna say DC 14. If they get caught into it, it's gonna be a DC 14 Dex save to pass. Then the tower itself is going to have a few ways in. So they can either, you know, climb up the side of it, or go through the front door, but like the bottom of it's going to have this kind of wild magic fungus kind of growing on there, which could damage them if they touch it. You know, that kind of thing. Pretty basic stuff. It's Friday when I get to a game is, so I'll go into here and I'll really iron that out. And then combat would be the Kruthic. But they're like radiated bugs, fundamentally. So before that, because I want the Assassin, the Sorcerer, and White Dragon, I don't want it to be a surprise that they're like close and following them. So what I'll do is have... as they're getting into town, so almost like a scene 0, right after the recap, I'll have them roll stealth checks as White Dragon flies overhead. The stealth checks can be straight up against the perception of the White Dragon. Either way, the White Dragon just flies overhead and scouts out, and if it sees them, the White Dragon is going to go back to the Sorcerer and the Assassin and let them know. Or if it doesn't see them, it's also going to go back, but it's just going to be a bit slower reaching them. And I'll most probably have this big fight happen next session after they leave the Dead City. But yeah, that's kind of all I need for now, I think. It's just about... This needs to sit down for 20 minutes and just fill out some of these added things. Do you need to buy the new Monster Manual if I want to keep using D&D Beyond Encounter Builder and it not be unbalanced if my players are using the new Player's Handbook? That is a phenomenal question. And one I don't have the answer to, because part of me thinks, since it's got that little... Hold on, let me get it up, actually. Let me get the Encounter Builder up. Since it has this at the top, the Encounters beta calculates difficulty using 2014 rules. For 2024 calculations, create encounters in maps. So since it says that, that makes me think that, yeah, this encounter builder is never going to be compatible with both, right? So I think they will update this encounter builder to... Two things are going to happen. Either they're going to update this encounter builder so that it goes with the new 2024 monster manual, and yeah, you won't be able to use the old one, which would be annoying. Or what I think they might do is use this as an excuse to move all the new people into only creating encounters in maps. And then they're going to make a different encounter builder in maps that is hopefully easy to use. I've tried using it now, and I do not like it. I like this encounter builder. I really like this encounter builder. I hope I still get to use it. Obviously, ideally, there would be like a little switch between the old version and the new version, but let's face it, that's probably not going to happen. But we'll see, because they're really pushing maps. They are really pushing maps, and they might have seen an in here where they're like, oh, we'll just push people towards maps forcefully by putting encounter builders in maps. You know, in the same way that, like, to get to the initiative tracker, you have to go through encounters, right? Like, there might be another way, but like, as far as I know, if I want to get to the initiative tracker, which is just like, you know, if I add these guys here and hit save and hit run encounter, I now have the initiative tracker here. But to get to here, I had to go through encounter builder. So it got people using encounter builder. So now maybe they'll have it being like, okay, to use the encounter builder, you got to go through maps. And to use the initiative tracker, you've got to go through maps. So now you're using all our stuff. We'll see. I'm making a video out of this. Sounds interesting. Yeah, I mean, I want to get all my thoughts in one place, and I want to spend longer with the monster manual. Specifically, I want to run my session on Friday using this monster manual. But also, D&D Beyond is so not transparent. Wizards of the Coast is not transparent about their plans with this stuff. So, as much as I want to make a video to be like, oh yeah, if you want the balanced, if you want a balanced encounter builder, you have to go through D&D Beyond maps now. That might change next weekend, and it would be like an instantly outdated video, and I want to avoid doing those. But I do intend on making a video about my impressions of the monster manual, and I also intend on making a video about my impressions overall once I've played 1 or 2 games of all of 2024 D&D, which I've not. I mean, I think I've spoken about this in the past, but my favorite thing about 2024 D&D is something that's actually kind of anti-players. Like it goes against players, and it goes against more experienced DMs in general. I think not everyone's going to agree with me here, but I really like D&D 2024 simply because I'm a big fan of a soft reset. So when I got into D&D 5 years ago, 5e had been going for 5 years. There was a ton of supplements. And then over the last couple of years, there have been even more supplements that have come out. And you would click on D&D Beyond and you would click on Create a Character, and it would give you like 100 options. And you would go into like the, monster manuals and stuff. And there would be just so many options. And you'd be like, is this balanced? Is there power creep? Which there was. I'd play with I'd have a player who was playing a basic species class combo from the 2014 Player's Handbook, and then I'd play with another player who had used the latest, the newest species to come out and the newest subclass to come out from something else, and the subclass, the new guy, would be way better than the old version, and it was just unbalanced. So now I really like the idea of just telling my players that you have to create a character from this player's handbook, right? And that sucks because there's so many options out there and they might want to play a very specific Warforge or something. And it is taken away from that. But I can also say, if you play a character from this player's handbook, it is going to be more powerful, which objectively it is. They're stronger. So that really helps them be like, okay, then, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. It makes it like not as tough pill to swallow. I'll still allow people to play something if they really want to play it, but as long as they know it's probably going to be weaker than what's in here, then that's fine. And then on that side, there's also all the monsters I'm going to be running are going to be just from the monster manual now, which is, you know, like, what do we say, like 500 monsters? So there's a lot to go from, but I know they're all at least as balanced as they can be for now to the current state of D&D. And yeah, it's just like, it's going to be so easy for me to just like, I don't know, manage everything, because I'm not trying to like catch up on a decade of releases. I just need to like learn these books. That's it. I don't have to learn all those down there. I don't have to like deal with an insane amount of magic items or an insane amount of monsters or insane amount of spells. It's just what's in these. And like I said, there are some people who don't want that. Some people want the variety and the range, and some people want everything, especially because we spent a lot of money on those. So you tell me I'm not using it anymore. But I'm very excited to just like become a master of D&D 2024, you know, and it's never been more obtainable than just now. But if I was going to give a little mini review, like just like a blurb of my thoughts on this 2024 Monster Manual, it's a weird one. It is weird because while I am team like, oh my god, it's so shiny, it's so new, it's so nice. The art inside it is really good. The layout is really good once I get used to it. All the monsters, I genuinely think all the monsters, probably, or like 99% of them, the monsters play better and are more balanced. And like the whole thing is just an update. Like the whole thing is just better. And as much as I believe all that, there is part of me that is just like, but it just feels like the Monster Manual still. Which is a weird thing to say because it is the Monster Manual. But the leap that the evolution of the Dungeons Master's Guide was huge. Like, this book feels like a brand new must-buy book. It feels completely different. And a genuine, like, just like a joy to read. And the Player's Handbook also feels like a completely new book. Not to the same extent as Dungeon Master's Guide, but it's the best edition of D&D yet in my eyes. So the Monster Manual just not... The jump's not as big. If I'd laid it out to what they actually do, like the Player's Handbook is, you know, there to talk players through creating their character and what all the characters can do, and, you know, the rules and how to play the game and all that good stuff, and it does a phenomenal job of that. And the DMG's there to aid the Dungeon Master and fundamentally get them more comfortable running the game they want to run. It does an amazing job of that. And the Monster Manual does a great job of doing what it's supposed to do, which is giving you a wide variety of monsters, and I personally think inspire you. You know, you can just go, you can flick through here, you can find a monster at CR rating, and you can make an adventure around that monster. It does a great job, but it just doesn't feel that big a difference to the old Monster Manual. So, like, if I was gonna rank it, it's like the worst out of the 3 new releases, but it's still very good. You've heard the term glass cannon thrown about regarding the monsters in the new monster manual. Hit hard but die quick. Do you agree? I've not noticed a massive nerf to health, if that's what you're saying. But once again, I've not gone through and done like that 50-50 kind of mix. Mixam, thank you for the subscription, dude. Also, thank you for the follow. And DM Tag, thank you for the follow. But yeah, Spencer, I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with it to say that a lot of them are like that. I'm sure a few creatures are like that. But I'm also, in a weird, once again, everyone DMs differently. Everybody wants different things in their combat and stuff. I like glass cannons, personally. I think if I can throw a creature on my table that can, do a ton of damage to my players and make them scared for their lives, and 2, not be a sponge and make combat last 10 rounds, that's what I want. Like, my ideal situation is combat is I throw a few creatures down, they almost kill my players, they maybe knock 1 or 2 of them unconscious, and then my players kill them after 3 rounds. That's the dream. So I kind of like, if they have become glass cannons, I like that. I understand why some DMs wouldn't. Some DMs want the longer, crunchier combat where it's like a marathon, not a race, but we'll see. But yeah, you with your Magic the Gathering foil cards, you love sharing. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, being a D&D fan, for me, a big part of it with the products like this is the collector in me. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think these 3 limited edition books I've got of the new core rule books are the favorite books I own for displaying and holding and flicking through. So it's massive. That's kind of a good way. Yeah. I think some people wouldn't like full glass cannons though. Depends on your players as well. If you have a bunch of players who like have really high decks and always hit first and they hit hard, glass cannons can like backfire where you just never get a go because your creatures are just dying too fast. Have I used ChatGPT or DeepSeek to build encounters or add lore to my games? I have. I've used ChatGPT mostly in moments of like questions, and I've mostly used ChatGPT for something like, give me a name for a dwarven city, and it will give me a bunch of names, that kind of thing. But AI in general is still, it's so contentious. So, this group of players are all new to D&D, so I had them all use 2024 PHP. They're 3 sessions into the Lost Mines of it. Nice. Yeah, it's really nice just to start and just be like, hey, this is all you can work with. What triggered this? Miles on YouTube asked about ChatGPT, whether I've built encounters or add lore, and then DMTEG on Twitch has asked if I use ChatGPT to get inspiration on my story. Where's this coming from? No, I mostly use ChatGPT if I use it for names, like things that I could come up with, or I would use a random generator for. I can just do it quicker with like ChatGPT. That's mostly what I've used it for. That's only because part of the creative fulfillment I get out of DMing is story. And I like the to and fro between me and my players. So for me personally, I like coming up with most of that stuff myself. You've got all the alt covers apart from the Theros one. Man, they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. What's your favorite alt cover, do you think? I'm really bummed I didn't get the Radiant Citadel one. Really bummed about that. But I really like Vecna Eva Bruin. And I really like the Quest of the Infinite Staircase one as well. You sometimes use it to make a list of small points and then make something big from it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can be very useful. It can be very useful. It's just the level of like, if you've seen my latest video, if you see my latest video, at the end of it, I talk about AI and how there's like just like no doubt in my mind that whether it's Foundry VTT or Roll20 or D&D Beyond, they're all going to have a little AI companion next to it, which will figure out all this stuff for you. And no matter how you feel about AI, whether you're against it, whether you think it's okay, I think it's inevitable that it's going to be there. And you will be able to type in like, hey, give me a layout for my next session, and it will give you a layout for your next session, you know? I just hope it's done. If we're going to use AI, there's the ability to make it really good, and there's the ability to make it really badly. And I just hope we make it good. And for the love of God, I hope we stay away from image generation. For the time being, at least, still. Because that's the most contentious part. You know, players who have used ChatGPT to create characters you wouldn't yourself. That's part of the fun for me. Yeah, different people. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? It would be nice to have AI just to do the stuff that you don't want to do, and then you can do the stuff you do want to do. And that's going to change for everyone, and that's the versatility of it. I think it's okay as long as it doesn't take your creativity away. A tool to use, not a replacement. Indeed, yeah. But there are some people like that who don't want to DM and don't want to put creativity in there, but do it because like they like making their friends feel good. And for those people, if they're like, yeah, I use ChatGPT for everything. Like my player asks me to do something and I ask ChatGPT what to do. As DMs, we might look at that and be like, you're not really DMing though, but like they're just like, yeah, but my friends are having fun and I don't want to do any of that stuff, so I just get to like facilitate the game, and that's what I get joy out of. It's like, hey, more power to you. Hey mate, just wanted to recommend Obsidian to take notes, and I'm not taking any money for it. It's just, it makes it way easier. I'll check it out. I've tried using Notion, and I've tried like, I don't know, I just find it easier to freaking just throw notes in Google Docs because I'm haphazard like that. But I'll check out Obsidian. I use ChatGPT to flesh out character backstories. The scariest thing about AI is voice generation. What do you mean a computer made this human voice from other human voices? Yeah, that is scary. If you feed enough info into ChatGPT, you can get pretty close guidelines to describe small details and make it ask questions to improve storytelling. Favorite old cover is Dragonlance. Yeah, that is good. Lord Soth is favorite villain, yeah. I ran an online game using image generator, all in Photoshop, all characters, players, items away. Oh, interesting. How did that go, Miles? I must use AI to either make things much more time effective as well as provide services I don't have the funds to do. I use ChatGPT for a bunch of different aspects of my life: study, work, gaming, creating. Obsidian is great. Okay, guys, I'll check out Obsidian. Yeah, we'll see. Like, one thing that I don't like doing as a DM, I know other people do, is just taking notes. I have a really bad memory, but one thing that's really surprised me in my DM journey is that I have a good memory when it comes to DMing. I'm really surprised at that. Like, I guess it's because I'm telling the story or helping to facilitate the story, but I can tell you what happened 3 sessions ago, 4 sessions ago, 5 sessions ago. I might not always remember exact names of NPCs and stuff like that, but I know what's happening. And then, you know, I have players who will come in and be like, what happened last session? I'm like, how do you not? It was a week ago. This happened. And I've got really good recall for that. When in everything else in my life, I have a terrible memory. But if I got really complex and ran a really long campaign, it would be nice to use like an AI just to like keep everything in place, like all my notes, everything that's happened. It knows, what's gone on, just every minutia. Like, what a big thing for me is like, did I give out a health potion 5 sessions ago, and who did I give it to? It would be nice to be able to like go to like ChatGPT and be like, hey, who took that health potion 5 sessions ago? And ChatGPT might be like, actually, you didn't give one out. And I'd be like, oh, my bad. Something like that. But yeah. I really want to start DMing for a side gig on the website you mentioned in the last video. Start playing. But I'm nervous about messing it up. Do you have any tips? Interesting. It's Start Playing is the website that I spoke about. I was saying earlier that like I'm a nervous DM for like new people, especially complete strangers, and I've never DM'd for money, and I would feel very nervous about DMing for money because I'd feel like I'd have to be the next level. That's not helping you at all. That's making you more pressure. I think the advice I would have is the advice that I've found doing content creation. And DMing at my home game is just, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And like, the more you do it, the less nervous you get. It's, what's it called? Exposure therapy. It's not fun, but it's true. Just go for it. Indeed, yeah, Cool Cylinders on it. Yeah, I just go for it. No one's going to care. And also, you have like a certain level of like anonymity. So like, if it goes horribly wrong, because I don't think it would go horribly wrong, but like if you do it and you're too shy or you don't like it or whatever, you just don't do it again. It's like an eject button. You're out. But yeah. But let me know if you do DM. I'd love to hear about your experience doing it. I've spoken to DMs who did that. I did a video on it a while ago where I spoke to long-term DMs on Start Playing. And they were saying they just loved it. They just loved doing it. You won't make a ton of money on there, but if you want to DM and you've got the time and you want to get some money for it, yeah, go for it. Yeah. It's impressive you can memorize all that information about a campaign. Yeah, I think it's just the way my mind works. I'm very story orientated, and that's why I think a lot of people in the nerd culture are similar. I couldn't tell you what I had for breakfast yesterday, or what I did when I went on holiday, what the itinerary was 3 years ago. I couldn't tell you, but I could tell you like what my favorite episode of Star Trek is and why and what happens in that episode. Is there something about like a story with characters unraveling that my brain can connect the dots with and like understand stuff. One more thing about AI is that you can give character description. Even if it needs lots of time, it can talk to you in a character. That makes roleplay a lot more easier. Oh, interesting, yeah. Yeah, I think my only downside with the AI that I would want to use would be, because it would be like a transcription AI, it would have to listen to your entire session to know what happened. And I don't like the idea of having something listening to me for like 3 hours once a week, chatting away. I don't know why. I just don't like it. Like, where's the information going? Am I going to DM in a certain way and then my phone will start giving me ads for certain things? Who knows? All right. Okay. So, I apologize to everyone who was like here for a detailed Monster Manual review. I think we talked about it a lot, but it was in between a lot of chatting about other stuff, which I think is just a live stream kind of deal. But I really appreciate everyone coming in here. It's feels good, feels nice, and I'm gonna end the stream, and then I'm gonna go and give this a proper flick through, and then when I actually do a session with it, my first session ever on Friday, where I'm gonna utilize all 3 core rule books and only the 3 core rule books. That's a lie. One of my players is an artificer, so But it'll be interesting to see how that runs, and I'll do a video hopefully start of next week, giving my full thoughts on it. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm not going to sell a video at all. I think it might be lackluster thoughts. Like my thoughts earlier, genuinely is like, it's a great book. But if you liked the last monster manual and you don't mind spending money on Wizards of the Coast, this is a great book and you should buy it. If you didn't like the last monster manual or you don't like Wizards of the Coast, don't buy it. It's going to be fundamentally my end thing there. Good luck with Artificer, thanks. All right, guys. I will catch you all later. Hold on, Leon J. In our group of 5, we have one main campaign, but for everyone also DMs a smaller one. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. Yeah. That's very cool. ChatGPT to track all 5 campaigns, writing quick session notes. PewDiePie Paul. I thought PewDiePie was just in here saying that my shave looks good. Thanks, man. Thanks, PewDiePie Paul. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm ending the stream. Thank you for popping in, and have a phenomenal rest of your day. Bye now.